Commander Ethan Murphy stood motionless on the bridge of the EEF horizon, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The alien ship had been there just moments ago, a massive, organic-looking vessel covered in what appeared to be ancient writings and complex patterns. Now it was rapidly shrinking into the distance, accelerating away at speeds that made Murphy's engineers whistle in admiration. "They're running again," he said, unable to keep the frustration from his voice. Lieutenant Kathy Davis nodded as she studied the readings at her station. "Confirmed, sir." The archivist vessel altered course exactly 3.2 seconds after our signals reached them. They didn't even open the communication channel. Murphy ran a hand through his short brown hair. This was the third time he had personally witnessed an archivist ship flee from human contact, but intelligence reports indicated this was the 7th documented case in 3 years. It made no sense. The archivists maintained diplomatic relations with every other known species in the galaxy. Only humans were given this strange, silent treatment. "Admiral Powell is requesting an update," said Communications Officer Peter Jones. Murphy sighed. "Put her through." The stern face of Admiral Lisa Powell filled a section of the main screen. Her gray eyes narrowed slightly as she took in Murphy's expression. "Let me guess, Commander. Our ancient friends decided not to stick around for dinner." "Yes, ma'am. Same pattern as before. They detected us, immediately changed course, and accelerated away. No response to standard greetings or council-approved contact protocols." Powell's mouth tightened into a thin line. "Return to formation, Commander. Do not pursue. With respect, Admiral, we could match their speed for at least. And what message would that send to the galactic community? That humans chase down ships that clearly don't want contact." Powell shook her head. "We're still the newcomers here, Murphy. We play by the rules." "Yes, Mom." After the Admiral's image disappeared, Murphy turned to find Intelligence Officer Frank Gardner standing nearby, datapad in hand. The thin, serious man had a thoughtful expression on his face. "You have something to add, Gardner?" "Just observations, sir. This marks the 7th confirmed case of the archivists actively avoiding us. At first, we thought it might be coincidence or miscommunication. Now it's clearly deliberate policy." Murphy lowered his voice. "Any theories on why the oldest known species in the galaxy seems terrified of humans?" Gardner adjusted his glasses. "Nothing concrete. But at the last Galactic Council meeting, I had an interesting conversation with a Nexian diplomat after he had a few too many fermented beverages. When I asked directly about the archivist behavior toward Earth, he became uncomfortable. Then he said something odd before walking away." "What was it?" "He said, 'They don't fear humans. They fear Earth itself. Your world harbors more than one intelligence.' Then he refused to elaborate." The bridge fell silent as the crew within earshot processed this statement. Later that week, a formal human delegation raised the issue at the Galactic Council's main chamber on Centauri Prime. The Earth ambassador, Daniel Rivera, stood proudly before representatives of 26 spacefaring civilizations. "We request clarification regarding the archivist delegation's continued refusal to engage with human vessels," Rivera stated clearly. "As full members of this council, Earth deserves equal diplomatic consideration." The chamber grew unusually quiet. Several representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The massive Korlax representative rumbled something to his translator, who then spoke in standard language. "The archivist's choices are their own. Perhaps humans should consider why they alone receive such treatment." The Pellerin representative, a slender being with silvery skin, added, "Some worlds have complex histories unknown even to their current dominant species." The Nexian counselor, carefully avoiding eye contact with the human delegation, simply said, "Earth has always been special. The archivists have long memories." As the delegation returned to Earth with these cryptic non-answers, Admiral Powell authorized a new initiative. If the galactic community wouldn't explain why the oldest, most respected race in known space feared Earth, then humans would have to find out for themselves. What they would discover would change humanity's understanding of their world, their history, and their place in the cosmos forever. Dr. Maya Bennett stared at the wall of data displays in her office at the Interstellar Relations Bureau headquarters in Geneva. For the past 3 weeks, she had been reviewing every piece of information Earth had on the archivists. As Earth's leading xenoanthropologist, she was tasked with finding the answer to a question that kept the highest levels of Earth's government awake at night. Why did the galaxy's oldest race avoid humans like a deadly virus? Maya pushed a strand of blonde hair from her face and sighed. The answer was hidden somewhere in the data. It had to be. A knock on her door broke her concentration. "Come in," she called. Lieutenant Jack Simmons entered, his tall frame filling the doorway. His military posture contrasted with the thoughtful look in his eyes. "Dr. Bennett, Admiral Powell sent me. I was on the EEF horizon during the last archivist encounter." Maya nodded and gestured to a chair. "Good. I need first-hand accounts. Tell me everything you saw." As Jack described the encounter, Maya noticed his hands. They moved as if trying to shape something invisible when he spoke of the archivist ship. "It wasn't just big," Jack explained. "It was alive, somehow. The outer hull had these patterns that shifted slightly, like breathing." Maya leaned forward. "That's not in the official report." "No, Ma'am. It seemed too subjective." Maya tapped her tablet. "I'm putting together a team. The official mission is to improve alien-human cultural understanding. The real mission is to figure out what the archivists know about Earth that we don't." Over the next few days, Maya assembled her team. Dr. Olivia Martinez joined from the Xenopsychology department. The slim, serious woman had spent years studying non-human thought patterns. Samuel Klein, a data analyst with thick glasses and quick hands, completed the core group. His specialty was finding patterns in alien communications that others missed. Their first breakthrough came when Samuel discovered something unusual in the Galactic Council's public records. "Look at these," he said, displaying several text excerpts. Different species, different contexts, but they all use similar phrases when referring to Earth. Maya read the highlighted sections. Jewel-minded world, the divided planet, twice-thinking sphere. They could be talking about Earth's diverse ecosystems, Olivia suggested. "No," Samuel said, shaking his head. "The linguistic patterns indicate something more specific. They're talking about intelligence, not geography." Jack frowned. "Are they suggesting Earth has 2 intelligent species?" The room fell silent as they considered this possibility. Later that week, Maya found ancient text references to the Great Sundering that allegedly happened on Earth millions of years before human civilization. The translations were fragmented, but they clearly described some kind of catastrophic split or separation. One evening, as Maya worked late in her office, she noticed a man watching the building from across the street. The next day, she spotted him again. When Jack arrived for their meeting, she mentioned it. "You too?" Jack asked, looking concerned. "I've had someone following me for days. Thought I was being paranoid." "What do you mean, you two?" Olivia and Samuel reported the same thing. "We're being watched. And not just by our own government." Maya lowered her voice. "How can you tell?" "Because one of them slipped up. I saw pointed ears when their hat shifted. Whoever's watching us isn't entirely human." The implications were clear. Their investigation had attracted attention from both Earth authorities and alien interests. Someone didn't want them digging deeper. That night, Maya received an encrypted message on her personal device. The sender was unknown, but the content sent chills down her spine. "The truth is below, not above. What swims in darkness knows more than what walks in light. Meet me tomorrow, 9 p.m., at the Natural History Museum's Ocean exhibit. Come alone. There are those who have always known about the others." Maya stared at the message for a long time before making her decision. Tomorrow, she would either find answers or walk into a trap. Either way, she couldn't turn back now. The Natural History Museum was nearly empty at 8:55 p.m. Maya walked slowly past the ocean exhibit displays, trying to look casual despite her racing heart. She had told her team where she was going. Against the message's instructions, Jack was positioned near the exit, pretending to study a whale skeleton. Olivia and Samuel waited in a car outside. At exactly 9:00 p.m., a short man with gray hair and weathered skin approached. He wore the uniform of a museum maintenance worker, with a name tag that read Greg Patterson. "Dr. Bennett," he said quietly. "Thank you for coming." Maya nodded cautiously. "You sent the message." "Yes. I'm not important, just a messenger. But what I represent is." Greg glanced around nervously. "We don't have much time. There are things about Earth you need to understand." "You mentioned the others. What others?" Greg smiled sadly. "Your team has discovered the linguistic patterns, yes. How alien species refer to Earth as tool-minded. They're not being poetic. Earth has always had two intelligent species, one above, one below." Maya felt a chill. "Below? The oceans cover most of our world, Dr. Bennett. Humans have explored less than 5% of them." Greg lowered his voice further. "I'm part of a small group that has served as intermediaries for generations. We call ourselves the Bridge. Intermediaries between humans. And what exactly?" Before Greg could answer, Jack appeared suddenly beside them. "We need to move. Now." 3 Pellerin agents just entered the building. Greg's face went pale. "They can't find us together. Follow me." He led them through a staff door into a maintenance corridor. They hurried through the museum's back areas until they reached a service elevator. "This goes down to old storage areas," Greg explained as they descended. "There's an exit that lets out near the water." Outside, they hurried to Olivia and Samuel's waiting car. As they drove away, Greg gave them directions that led out of the city. "Where are we going?" Maya asked. "Appalachian Mountains. There's a facility there. It's one of the contact points." 3 hours later, they arrived at what looked like an abandoned research station nestled in the hills. Greg led them inside, past outdated equipment, to what appeared to be a dead end. He placed his hand on a section of wall, which slid open to reveal an elevator. "What you're about to see has been kept secret for centuries," Greg said as they descended deep underground. "Only a few hundred humans know the full truth." The elevator stopped, and the doors opened to reveal a massive cavern. Maya gasped. The space housed an incredible complex of structures that seemed to blend modern human technology with something entirely different, organic-looking components that pulsed with soft blue light. "Welcome to Contact Point 7, Greg said. A group of humans in lab coats approached. Their leader, a woman with kind eyes and silver hair, nodded at Greg. "You've brought them earlier than planned," she said. "We had no choice, Dr. Ward. Alien observers are getting too close." Dr. Ward turned to Maya's team. "I'm Ellen Ward, Chief Liaison. We've been expecting you, just not so soon." "Liaison to what?" Jack asked, his hand instinctively near his sidearm. Ellen smiled. "To Earth's other children." She guided them toward a massive pool that dominated the center of the cavern. As they approached, something broke the surface of the water. Maya stared in amazement. The being that emerged was humanoid, but clearly not human. Its skin had a bluish tint that seemed to shift colors slightly. Large, intelligent eyes studied the visitors. Gill-like structures pulsed gently at its neck, and webbed hands gripped the edge of the pool. "This is Ambassador Narration," Ellen said calmly. "He represents the Abyssal Collective, Earth's other intelligent species. They evolved alongside us, in the deepest parts of our oceans." Narration spoke, his voice musical and strange yet perfectly understandable. "We have watched your progress for many years, Dr. Bennett. It is time for a proper introduction. We share this world with you, and now we must share its defense." Maya stared at Ambassador Narration, her mind racing to process the reality before her. The being remained partially submerged, his large eyes watching her with unmistakable intelligence. "How is this possible?" she finally asked. "A second sentient species on Earth, and we never knew." Dr. Ward smiled gently. "The oceans are vast and deep, Dr. Bennett. The abyssal collective evolved in the deepest trenches, in habitats humans could barely survive even with our best technology." Naren made a fluid gesture with his webbed hand. "We chose isolation long ago. When your ancestors were still learning to use simple tools, we had already built underwater cities." Olivia stepped forward, her professional curiosity overcoming her shock. "You've been watching us all this time." "Not watching," Naren corrected. "Guiding. Subtly. We shared this world and wished for you to reach your potential." Jack frowned. "You're saying you interfered with human evolution?" Naren's skin rippled with changing colors. What Maya guessed might be their equivalent of facial expressions. "That is why the archivists avoid Earth," Naren explained. "They discovered our influence during their first visit to Earth, 65 million years ago." Samuel gasped. "That's when the dinosaurs went extinct." "Yes," Naren confirmed. "The archivists came to preserve genetic samples before the asteroid impact. They found us already thriving in the depths. We had achieved spaceflight and had begun guiding the evolution of certain mammals." Dr. Ward gestured to a circular platform nearby. "Ambassador Naren can show you better than we can tell you. The collective uses a form of memory-sharing technology. With your permission, Dr. Bennett, you could experience their memories directly." Maya hesitated only briefly before nodding. "I need to understand." She stepped onto the platform where Naren joined her. The ambassador placed a webbed hand near her temple, not quite touching. "This may feel strange," he warned, "but it will not harm you." A cool sensation washed over Maya's mind, and suddenly she was no longer in the underground facility. She was seeing Earth as it was 65 million years ago, through the memories of the collective's ancestors. She watched as massive archivist ships arrived in Earth's orbit, just as a giant asteroid approached. The archivists were not there to stop the impact. They had a strict non-interference policy with natural events. They came only to preserve samples. But their sensors detected something unexpected. Advanced technology deep in Earth's oceans. The ancestors of the abyssal collective had already achieved a high level of civilization and had been carefully manipulating the evolution of certain land species. Maya felt the shock of the archivist explorers at discovering this intervention. In their culture, natural evolution was sacred. The archivists confronted the ancient abyssals, demanding they stop their experiments. But the abyssals refused, explaining they saw potential in the small furry creatures that would one day evolve into humans. They had been guiding that potential for millions of years already. The resulting agreement flashed through Maya's mind. The archivists would not reveal the abyssal collective's existence to the galactic community if they limited their interference with surface evolution. The collective agreed but continued subtle guidance of human development, accelerating technological progress beyond what would have naturally occurred. The vision faded, and Maya found herself back on the platform, gasping for breath. "Now you understand," Naren said softly. "The archivists fear Earth because we broke their most sacred law. We shaped your evolution. In their eyes, humans are not a natural species but an engineered one." Jack looked troubled. "Are they right? Are we just your experiment?" Naren's colors shifted to deep blue. "No, we guided, but the path was always yours to walk. Your creativity, your compassion, your curiosity. These are uniquely human traits we merely helped to flourish." Maya's mind was still processing everything she had seen. "Why show us this now? Why after all this time?" "Because the archivists have broken their silence," Naren said gravely. "They have told other species about us, about our influence on your development. Several galactic powers now see Earth as a dangerous anomaly that must be contained or eliminated." Admiral Lisa Powell stared at the holographic display, showing a fleet of alien vessels positioned just beyond Pluto's orbit. Her war room was filled with Earth's top military and political leaders, all watching the ships with growing concern. 17 vessels from 3 different civilizations, she said, pointing to the display. The Pelorans, the Korlax, and the Nexians. All arrived within the last 12 hours. Earth's Defense Secretary Alan Reed leaned forward. Have they made any demands? Just one, Powell replied grimly. They want us to submit to what they call a genetic inspection of all Earth's life forms and to reveal all hidden intelligences on our planet. If we refuse, they threaten immediate containment of Earth. The room fell silent. Everyone understood that containment was a polite word for planetary blockade, or worse. The president's advisor spoke up. What do they know about the Abyssal Collective? We're not sure, Powell answered. But we received this transmission 6 hours ago. She played a recording from the Peloran fleet commander. The silver-skinned alien spoke in perfect English. People of Earth, the deception has gone on long enough. Your world harbors 2 intelligence evolutions, a violation of natural law according to the oldest civilizations in our galaxy. Your genetic tampering is an abomination. Surrender both species for inspection, or face the consequences. Meanwhile, at the secret mountain facility, Maya and her team were in deep discussion with Niren and Dr. Ward. We need to inform Earth's leaders immediately, Maya insisted. This isn't just a scientific discovery anymore. It's a planetary emergency. Niren's skin pulsed with rapid color changes. Our leaders agree. For the first time in our history, we are ready to reveal ourselves to all of humanity. Dr. Olivia Martinez, who had been studying the memory-sharing technology, looked up from her notes. I think I understand why the galactic community is so afraid. It's not just about breaking evolution rules. What do you mean? Jack asked. I've been analyzing the archivist records Niren shared. They mention only 2 previous cases in galactic history where multiple intelligence evolved on a single planet. Olivia's face was grave. Both instances resulted in devastating interstellar wars as the competing species fought for dominance and resources. Samuel nodded. They're not just afraid of rule-breaking. They're afraid of what Earth might become if 2 intelligent species join forces. Dr. Ward received an urgent message on her communication device. Her face paled as she read it. Admiral Powell is trying to reach us. The alien fleet has given Earth 48 hours to comply with their demands. Back at Defense Headquarters, Powell was surprised when a secure call came through from Dr. Bennett, whom she had assigned to the archivist investigation weeks ago. Admiral, I need to speak with you on a secure channel. What I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but Earth's future depends on you believing me. 24 hours later, Powell stood before the President and the Joint Chiefs, alongside Maya and her team. More surprisingly, Dr. Ward and a specially designed water tank containing Ambassador Niren were also present. The room erupted in shock when Niren was introduced. The President stared in disbelief at the underwater being who had been sharing Earth with humanity for millions of years. This changes everything we thought we knew about our world, the President said after hearing their explanation. We have less than a day before the alien fleet expects our answer, Powell reminded everyone. Maya stepped forward. Admiral, I have a proposal. The aliens expect us to deny everything or fight among ourselves when the truth comes out. What if we do the opposite? What do you mean? The President asked. What if humans and the Abyssal Collective address the Galactic Council together? What if we show them that 2 intelligences can coexist peacefully on one world? Niren's colors brightened. It is unprecedented. No dual intelligence world has ever presented a united front to the galaxy. Powell considered this. It's risky, but continuing to hide the truth isn't an option anymore. The President nodded slowly. If we're going to face judgment from the stars, we'll do it together, as one planet with 2 voices. As they prepared for the most important diplomatic mission in human history, news of Earth's second intelligence began to spread across the globe. The Galactic Council chamber was unlike anything humans had ever built. The vast dome stretched hundreds of feet above them, its curved ceiling displaying a real-time map of the known galaxy. Representatives from 26 spacefaring civilizations sat in rising tiers, watching as the Earth delegation entered. Maya felt small under their collective gaze. Beside her walked Ambassador Daniel Rivera, Admiral Powell, and Dr. Ward. Behind them, 4 abyssal representatives glided in special floating tanks that allowed them to breathe and speak in the air-filled chamber. Ambassador Nirin led the abyssal group, his skin shifting through colors that reflected his nervousness. This was the first time in history that the abyssal collective had revealed themselves to the wider galaxy. The Earth delegation took their place at the center of the chamber. A hush fell over the assembled aliens. The council elder, a tall being with 4 arms and wise eyes, spoke first. "We recognize the representatives of Earth. We note with surprise that you bring others with you." Rivera stepped forward. "Honorable Council, we bring not others, but fellow Earthlings. For millions of years, Earth has been home to 2 intelligent species. Today, both stand before you united." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some representatives looked angry, others fascinated. The Korlax representative, a massive being with thick gray skin, slammed a fist down. "This confirms our accusations. Earth harbors dual intelligence, a cosmic aberration that has led to war in every previous case." Naren's tank moved forward. When he spoke, his words were translated through speakers. "Yes, Earth has 2 intelligent species, but we have not fought each other. We have lived in peace." The Peloran representative stood. "Impossible. The records are clear. Dual intelligence evolution always leads to conflict." "Perhaps your records are incomplete," Admiral Powell countered. "Humans and abyssals have known about each other for centuries. We have cooperated, not competed." Dr. Ward activated a holographic display showing the history of human-abyssal contact. "The abyssal collective chose to remain hidden from most humans, but we've had peaceful exchanges for generations. They helped guide our development, and we've shared our world without conflict." The council chamber erupted in debate. Some representatives demanded immediate quarantine of Earth, while others expressed curiosity about this unprecedented situation. Suddenly, the massive doors at the far end of the chamber swung open. The room fell silent as a new figure entered. The being that glided forward was unlike any Maya had ever seen. It moved with fluid grace, its body seeming to shift between solid and light. Ancient symbols covered its surface, changing and flowing like living text. Maya knew instantly what it was: an archivist elder, one of the oldest living beings in the galaxy. "I come before this council for the first time in 5,000 years. The elder's voice resonated throughout the chamber without seeming to use any technology. "To speak of Earth." Even the council elder looked shocked. The archivists have maintained neutrality in all council matters for millennia. Why break that silence now? The archivist elder moved to the center of the chamber, studying the human and abyssal representatives with ancient eyes. "Because I recognize fear when I see it," the elder said. "The fear in this chamber is the same fear that led my people to avoid Earth. But it is not fear of what Earth is. It is fear of what Earth reminds us of." The elder's body shifted, displaying what looked like historical records in its changing patterns. "The archivists, too, evolved on a world with dual intelligence. We shared our homeworld with a silicon-based life form. And yes, as your records show, our species fought a devastating war that nearly destroyed our planet." Maya felt a chill run through her. This was why the archivists had avoided Earth, not from hatred, but from painful memory. "We feared seeing our own tragic history repeat itself," the elder continued. "So we watched Earth from a distance, expecting the same pattern of conflict. Instead, we witnessed something unprecedented: cooperation, not competition." The elder turned to face the full council. "Perhaps it is time for us to learn from Earth, rather than judge it." 6 months after the historic Galactic Council meeting, Earth had become the center of unprecedented interstellar attention. Ships from dozens of worlds orbited the planet, not as a threat, but as eager visitors. What had once been feared as an anomaly was now studied as a potential model for the galaxy. Commander Ethan Murphy stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned EEF Harmony, Earth's first joint human abyssal vessel. Through the massive viewing window, he watched shuttles ferrying representatives from various species to the International Cooperation Summit being held in Geneva. Still getting used to the new normal? Admiral Powell asked as she joined him at the window. Murphy smiled. Every day brings something new. Did you ever imagine we'd see Korlax diplomats admiring our oceans, or Nexian scientists studying marine biology with abyssal teachers? The galaxy's oldest fear has become its newest fascination, Powell agreed. Speaking of which, your next mission has been approved. The Archivist Homeworld has formally invited an Earth delegation, both human and abyssal. Murphy raised his eyebrows in surprise. The Archivists are actually inviting us to their planet. The Elder's speech changed everything. The Archivist people want to learn how Earth managed what their civilization couldn't: peaceful coexistence between two intelligent species. Down in the Geneva Convention Center, Maya Bennett was busy coordinating with Dr. Ward. The main hall had been specially modified with water-filled speaking platforms to accommodate abyssal representatives. Dozens of alien diplomats mingled with humans and abyssals in what would have seemed an impossible scene just months ago. Dr. Bennett, called a familiar voice. Maya turned to see Jack Simmons, now the head of security for the Joint Diplomatic Corps. The Archivist delegation has arrived, and they've brought something they say you should see first. Maya followed Jack to a private meeting room. Inside waited 3 archivists, their bodies shifting with flowing patterns. On a table sat an ancient-looking device, organic in appearance yet clearly technological. Dr. Bennett, the lead archivist, greeted her. We bring a gift from our archives. It has been in our keeping for 65 million of your years. What is it? Maya asked, approaching the strange object. A record keeper. It contains the original genetic samples our ancestors collected from Earth before the Great Extinction event, including early versions of both your species. Maya's heart raced as she realized the implications. You're giving us our own prehistory. The archivist's patterns shifted in what Maya had come to recognize as their version of a smile. Knowledge belongs to those it concerns most. Perhaps in understanding your shared past, both your peoples can build an even stronger shared future. Later that week, at the summit's closing ceremony, the council elder made a surprising announcement. A new position was being created within the Galactic Council, a special advisory seat for dual intelligence worlds, with Earth as its first representative. As the summit concluded, Maya found herself standing with Niren by the shores of Lake Geneva. The Abyssal Ambassador's floating tank allowed him to enjoy the surface world in comfort. Our ancestors would never have imagined this, Niren said, his colors shifting to peaceful blues and greens. Humans and abyssals standing together, not just on Earth but in the stars. Maya watched the sunset reflect on the lake. For millions of years, we evolved separately but together. Maybe that's not an aberration, but a strength. We see the world from different perspectives, solve problems in different ways. The archivists avoided Earth because they feared seeing their tragic history repeated, Niren observed. Instead, they found a new possibility, that dual minds might lead to wisdom rather than war. In orbit above them, the first joint human abyssal research vessel prepared to depart for the Archivist homeworld. Its name was visible on the sleek hull. EEF Unity. The ship carried scientists, diplomats, and historians from both Earth species, ready to learn from the past while building a new future. The ancient fear that had caused the galaxy's oldest race to dodge Earth had transformed into a cautious hope. Perhaps this time, a world with 2 voices would bring harmony to the stars rather than discord. As night fell over Geneva, lights from 1,000 alien vessels twinkled alongside the stars, all watching Earth with new eyes.